Okay, today is International Democracy Day, and it's unfortunate that we as Zimbabweans, we have nothing to celebrate, given that there is rampant persecution of Zimbabweans. As you are aware, we've just had our elections on the 23rd of August, and the will of the people has not been considered. People are not given the opportunity to choose the leaders of choice, and now you see we are coming from court. Our leaders are being persecuted. We have leaders in Bulawayo, Manicaland, Midlands. They are all being persecuted because they were vouching for the leaders of choice. So this is why we as Zimbabweans, we feel we are not given the opportunity to celebrate democracy, which is lacking amongst the people of Zimbabwe. What we want to see is the will of the people to prevail. We want people to be given the opportunity to select leaders. As you are aware, in Zimbabwe we have had a lot of intimidation, where in rural areas in particular people were forced to vote for ZANU-PF against their will. So we are saying people should be given the opportunity to choose leaders of choice, and people should be able to exercise the basic freedoms that are enshrined in the Constitution, the freedom of choice, the right to assembly, the right to association. This is what we've been fighting for as Zimbabweans, and most importantly, this is what our forefathers during the liberation struggle fought.
As a young person in Zimbabwe, the issue of democracy is not really a real thing that is there. We are seeing that the government in Zimbabwe, or the regime in Harare, keeps on abusing human rights. There cannot be a talk for democracy when human rights are being abused by the government. And we are also seeing the aspect of state capture which is existing within the nation of Zimbabwe. And as young people, we are feeling as if we are being led astray. We expect the leaders of this nation to lead by example, but we are now leading to a state of nature where there are no rules governing the people. It's like there is ochlocracy, whereby we are being governed by cabals, we are being ruled by cabals. And as young people, we are not happy of this situation that is existing in our nation.
In the context of what is happening in Zimbabwe, as Zimbabweans or as young people, we have no idea of what democracy is, because we've never been exposed to that in Zimbabwe. Take a look at now in the courts of law. We are supposed to be witnessing democracy, or all kinds of democracy, but we are being treated unjust by the courts of Zimbabwe or by the magistrates courts, whereby simple cases whereby people are just supposed to be granted bail or to be given remand refusals, they are still being string along. And it is quite clear that in Zimbabwe we are not even recognizing democracy as a whole or as a concept.
My name is Susan Matunga. As we commemorate the day of Democracy Day, I don't think so there's democracy. You see what is happening, especially in CCC members, honorable members, councillors. They are busy, persecution, brutality, Mishair Kupispa, Kumaruzeva. So there's nothing to celebrate at all, because here there is no democracy. And our worrisome, it's all about our members. It is happening only to the opposition members, of which that's not fair. That's not fair. We need democracy in our country. So I can't say we are celebrating a day of democracy because of this situation we are facing as members of the opposition.
Democracy Day, you will realize that Zimbabwe is coming in from a very long road, whereby from our independence and from mainly in 2000, we have seen a lot happening in terms of human rights, in terms of democracy, elections taking place, especially whereby voters have been going for elections, and we have been having contested elections, mainly 2002, 2005, 2008, 2013, 2018, and also in 2023. So there is need for us to really go back into our constitution, have the ethos and the provisions in our constitution clearly entrenched, and have the provisions are respected, and as a people have our democracy fully realized on this day of international democracy. It's not just about having a cycle of elections every 5 years, but it's about the outcomes of the election, whether they are acceptable and how we then get to react to such outcomes of those elections. So there is a lot that there needs to be done on this International Day of Democracy. It then speaks to exactly what I've been saying, that in terms of democracy itself, it's not a matter of having a cycle of elections every 5 years, but it's a matter of how do you conduct those elections, what are the outcomes after the elections have been conducted, what then takes place. It then matters very much in terms of democracy. It matters very much in terms of implementing